Hello, listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Insiders Talk. We are your hosts for today. I am Anshula.
I'm Monpuya.
So, MP, would you like to introduce our guest for today?
So our guest for today is Rahul Lakhmani. Rahul Lakhmani is an entrepreneur, educationist, startup mentor, and public speaker. An IIT Bombay, IIM Kolkata alumnus, he started his journey at a young age, right within the college campus, by conducting workshops and training sessions on various academic, vocational topics, which were immensely beneficial for the students and faculty alike. With increasing popularity, he grew his venture into an independent, self funded startup called Skiify Solutions, which offers a plethora of services such as software development, business intelligence services, etc. Thanks to his dedicated efforts, Skiify won ISLQ Award in Gold category by BID Convention Paris. Recently, he was awarded Leading Innovative Pioneer by Federation for World Academics. Apart from leading his company, he has taught and led and contributed to 250 plus thought provoking and inspirational seminars and guest lectures across reputed institutions such as various IITs, IIMs, and other leading government institutes and organizations. He has also been associated with AICTE for the past 6 years as a startup expert and mentor to guide students, innovators, and entrepreneurs. In his personal time, he plays club cricket, spends time with nature, and he is also an international award winner for nature and wildlife photography. So, sir, let's start off with the podcast with the first question, as we are all MBA students. So, what was your journey from like IT to IIM to being a public speaker? What was it like as a mentor, as a startup founder? Can you just give us an insight?
Yes, sure. So first of all, I would like to thank you guys for this particular session. And then I also want to correct you that I am Calcutta alumnus. I am
Yeah.
Calcutta dropout. Fine. So my journey was started from IIT Bombay only, and there's a bit of twist. So when I started my company when I was at IIT Bombay, fine,
Mm.
and then I started recruiting from IITs and IIMs from next year onwards. So I cleared CAT with more than 99 percentile many a times, but still I haven't joined MBA program. There are two reasons. One was that I was hiring from IIMs when I was quite young at that time, and other was that once you are into the entrepreneurship, when you have started something, then these MBA courses are of, I mean, these are basically of very little use. If you can see right now, whatever you have been taught is basically how to work in a company. Fine. Not how to start. Means in past 4 months, whatever you have learned is basically how you are going to work in a company. Fine. So, and later on regarding I am Calcutta also. So I am Calcutta was my experiment, since I am working with Ministry of Education, and like I am like giving all the lectures and engaging with you guys from past like 10, 11 years. I'm engaging with MBA students for recruitment as well as I'm delivering the lectures. So then I realized that right now, apart from the like work, they are feeling some stress in their personal lives also. Fine. So that's why I joined I am Calcutta, uh, and then I joined there for like basically to live with you guys and to see what exactly the program is, and how much stress coping abilities you are getting from it, or how much stress you are getting from it. So I have done like I have dropped out in second term. Fine. I joined for PhD there, not for MBA. Fine. Because in this point of time, if you can see, MBA is not a good thing for me. So I like, since I'm working this emotional intelligence and that psychology thing, I joined for organization behavior. So since I dropped out, yes, so I cannot be counted as like their alumnus. That's one thing. Another thing, coming back to the main story. So when I started my company in IIT Bombay, and then when we started recruiting from 2012 itself, at that time, firstly we started recruiting from IIT Bombay, and from next year we started recruiting from all the IIMs. Like we started from IIM Lucknow and then other IIMs. So at that time, when there was some pre-presentation talks and like that PPT or something that before the recruitment companies are giving. So at that time, someone asked me to give some talk on entrepreneurship and startups and how I came to like start that particular company at that point of time when I was a student. So then my journey was started with those startup related talks, and then people is found that those talks were motivating. So they have started calling me for motivational talks and like inspirational talks. And then this journey started. Like from thereafter, from past 10 years, I'm just, apart from recruiting from these colleges, I'm also giving guest lectures on emotional intelligence, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and marketing, product market fit, startup, each and everything. And since I love to be with students each and every means, if you can think, my background is civil engineering, correct? So being from civil engineering, whatever I'm doing from past 10 to 11 years were not being taught at IIT Bombay, IIT Bombay or any other college. Fine. So the thing is, whatever I've learned is from like my running my company and being with you guys. So that's why I like engaging with students, because each and every time whenever I'm engaging with students, people and all the like I'm counseling many professors also. Fine. So whenever I'm discussing your problems, eventually I'm also like your problem is being solved, and I'm also in, like my problem solving capability is also increasing. So that's why I love to indulge in all these sessions, and this is the journey that I had from starting a company to like giving the lectures, and also like then I started doing wildlife photography during COVID, and then right now my schedule is like for first 6 months, like from November to May. Jungles are there, so mostly I visit jungles, and in between I give guest lectures in IIT science and all, and simultaneously running my business also. And in next 6 months, when jungles are generally closed during monsoon seasons, I visit all the colleges quite often for my thing. And whenever some jungle is open, I go there in the buffer area and do my wildlife photography. And choosing I am Kolkata was also very interesting option. Means the thing is that I am Calcutta is having 7 lakes and lots of biodiversity there. There's some monitor lizard and snakes are there. So I went there just to see how I am coping up with all the stress that you guys are daily coping in this particular age, and how like in the government we can like think about changing some MBA curriculum, because what I'm seeing is that MBA curriculum is good, but it's bit outdated. If you can see around 20 years back, it was running in the same fashion. So right now, you guys are much different from what we are. Fine. So your MBA should be in a different fashion than what MBA from our generations were doing. So that is what we are seeing. And also PhDs, like for research, many people who have accomplished things and then they are coming from research, that is right now we are lacking in this research capability when people are not coming for PhD. Fine. So these were the problems that I wanted to solve, and that's why I visited IIM Calcutta and I've joined IIM Calcutta.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Is there any memorable events from your college or maybe your time working where that still puts a smile to your face that you remember fondly?
Yes, there are many means events, means each and every time we were having something or other thing apart from me. I was not very good in studies at that time, or I was not giving much time to studies, so I was giving my time to many other things. So there are many stories, but couple of stories are there which you might be liking. So one was like we were conducting a geometrics. It was like international workshop in IIT Bombay. So in that workshop, more than 300 delegates were coming from outside India. So at that time, IIT Bombay had arranged their stay in like hotel in near RA colony. So it is a forest location or something. And then just like so two incidents are there in particular conference. So we were managing all the conference, me and my friend who was also co-founder with me in the Skiify. Fine. So we both of us were overall manager of the conference, and we were like maintaining the that particular conference. And just 2 days back, just 2 days before the conference in morning time, since you are working in nights, all of you guys are like doing so many events, and mostly you guys are working in night, correct? So in night around 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., accidentally at that time 2012 I'm talking about, he deleted the website, complete conference website, accidentally. And it is not only related to the front end part, all the back end data. This is this story I'm telling, I think first time I'm telling in the public. Fine. So all the data related to all the accepted papers were deleted at morning 5 a.m., 5 a.m. or something. And then he told me that everything is deleted. And I just told him, okay, just sleep. We'll see in the morning. And he was like, what can we do in the morning? We are not having any data. Website is like finished. It was deleted and there was no backup at that time. Means we were also students, so we make mistakes each and every time right now also. So, and then what we have done is, like, from Google Cache, we have, like, whatever website we could have recovered, we have recovered the Google from Google Cache. Then we have recovered, like, whatever database we were having of all the papers in, like, sometime we have saved some access files, some database for, like, each and every time whenever papers are coming, we are giving all the papers to faculties so that they can check which paper to accept and reject. So we have collected all those papers, and some extrapolation was done to prepare the website in 2 days with complete backend portal. Fine. This was the event that was like, that was like remarkable, because at that time it was not related to us, it was related to IIT Bombay, reputation of IIT Bombay, because it was international conference. But eventually no one was aware about it, and the thing was done like greatly. Around like 2 years back, my professor, he generally meets me frequently. So he called me and he told me that till now they haven't conducted another international conference, and he was very happy with our performance till now. And the second incident also with same particular conference is, it was on day one of the conference in the morning. Like, a person who was handling accommodation and hospitality, he has called to professor, convener of the conference, that all the international delegates are very, very unhappy and they are crying there, and he has created some wall-like scene that is going on there because the facilities was not there. And then my professor asked us that, can you do anything in this particular thing, because they are much experienced people, they most of them are professors and researchers, and they are not from India, most of them are, and they are not happy with the accommodation, and they are even not going into the room right now. They have just created some kind of dharna there, that international people. So then I asked him, okay, I can go, just give me one bus, so that if they are not happy, I can at least take them here, one bus. And then I want, my friend Arun was there, so he was knowing Tamil, so Hindi and English I'm comfortable with. If there are some people from South India, fine, then he will like engage them. And I asked them that some female members should be there. And then we went there, and then we handled the whole situation within next like 45 minutes or 1 hour. And then I called my professor that, okay, everything is done right now and they are happy, they are staying there only. There were some problems, like some water was not there and some insects was there, snakes were there. It was the same problem at that time. But those are the problem in which, means, at that time I was not knowing that all these things were related to emotional intelligence or something like that. I was just thinking, okay, we are thinking about how to do the work, and I think we thought we are high on Mac or something, and we are thinking about future, we are thinking about people problem, that's why we are able to solve that problem. But right now we can think that it was a great thing, and just because of thinking about them, we are able to do that. So these two are the events that we usually talk a lot about right now also. And seriously, I can tell you that we must be having thousand such stories from IIT as well as from IIM also. IIM Calcutta, I was for 2 terms only, not I haven't completed second term also, but still I am having numerous stories, just because of the fact that for me life is very important. So okay, studies and all are there, and that's why MBA thing I want to like have some changes in MBA curriculum, because of what I have seen in all those 2 terms, that MBA guys were not having time for their life. And if we are not happy, there are very lesser chances that we can give our 100% for the productivity thing.
So, Rahul, as you have said that one needs to be happy to give their 100%. So, how do you usually unwind after a long day?
So again, two parts. One is right now. So past 6, 7 years. So I consider myself retired. So around I completed my education 2012, and I consider myself retired from 2015. Fine. So after 2015, whatever I am doing is the things that I love. Fine. Like right now, I'm talking to you. I love these things. I give guest lectures. I love these things. Whatever I'm doing in company, I'm doing only those things which I love. So till 2015, I have done like business. In business or in job, you have to do many things which you don't like. Fine. If your manager is telling you like to do something right now and you are not having that mood, then something you are going to get stressed. You are not happy. Again, if you are working for the client and client is telling you that whatever you have done is not up to the mark, then there are chances that you will not be happy, and in that case your day would be count as a long day, long working day. But if I'm going to photograph birds right now, or I'm going to deliver a lecture, in both the cases I'm going to deliver a lecture will start at 10 a.m, and then 10 to 12 p.m I am delivering the lecture, and after 12 to 4 p.m they are just discussing queries with me, students like you. Fine. In that case I don't feel tired, because I have given lectures which were like from like, it was scheduled for 1 or 1.5 hours, and they have taken some 6, 7, 8 hours continuously. So I cannot count those as a long day. Fine. Again, photographing, I'm going to photograph birds in the morning, and I'm coming in like evening 6 p.m. Still, I cannot count this as a long day because I'm doing what I love. But your main query is regarding those days which were related to job and all. So I'm going back to after 2015, I am done with my financial things for my life. So from 2015 onwards, I'm not doing anything which I don't like. Simple things. And each and everyone wants to be like this only. Fine. And before 2015, again, answer is that if I'm coming from a day which was like heavy day, or which in the day I've done lots of work which I don't like, again that work, in that case, after coming there, I will do the things that I like. So for example, talking with my people, being with my people, fine, doing things like that means I find energy from people, each and so I don't think much. I talk more with people, my people. Fine. In that case, I'm not alone with myself. I miss many times you must have heard that people should be having some comfortable time with themselves. Fine. Alone space. Yes, that is required. But again, that varies from person to person. I get my energy from people only. So whenever there's a long day, if I'm getting my people after that, everything will be okay. And apart from that, if I'm doing something that I love, like I'm doing photography or I'm doing something like that, I really love that. Cricket is also one of them thing that I do. So
That's
just do
great.
the things you love. Just do the things you love. I know in MBA you guys are not having time each and every day, but again, if you are not finding time right now, it will be difficult to find time after two years also.
All right. So, could you offer our audience? So, our audience is mainly MBA students. Some
Yeah.
advice that you think that that you have learned on your journey so far that
Hmm.
maybe we should also start inculcating at the moment.
Hmm. So right now, if I'm asking you a simple question, that right now you have done with your term one and currently you are in term two,
Yeah.
correct? So till
Yeah.
term two, if I'm asking both of you differently, which is your favorite subject to you and to you also? Till term two,
I would say DS. That's
which one?
decision science.
DS, decision science. Okay, and yours?
Mine is probably communication, managerial communication. It's an
Yes.
easy subject, so I can score good marks there.
And I'm telling you, like whatever answer he has given is like manager communication, also my favorite subject. But thing is, it is not an easy subject. Once you are master of that subject, then life would be very easier for you. Just think about eventually what you are going to do. You are going to like you are going to hypnotize your recruiter. You are going to hypnotize your manager. You are going to hypnotize your clients. Hypnotize means you have to like persuade them to do something. That managerial communication is like most important subject. So what I am telling you is like, whenever we are in MBA, we are thinking too much about technical things, too much about learning more and more things about doing the projects. How can we do the projects? How can we enhance our skills and all? But the main thing that we are not thinking about is the people skill. Eventually, whatever domain you are going to, either you are going to consulting, you are going to like finance, everywhere. Eventually, you have to solve problems and problems of people each and everywhere. Either they are your customers, either they are your client, either they are your like founder, co-founder in your startup, or they are working under you, or they can be your manager also. Each and everywhere, or your recruiter, or your teacher. All of these are people only. So the thing is that you have to manage people eventually. Means how good you are in handling technical things. For if you see the CEO of Google, CEO of Microsoft, right now they are not doing coding and all. They are not managing like which meeting to do and not. They have to manage few people, and then those people have to manage few people, and in this chain only they can run a complete organization. So that like think and that like solving people's problem is not very easy. For that you have to incorporate some things, and that thing you can practice in even in your MBA, and that is like thinking about people. So right now you are having a bunch of people with varied skills and varied emotions. So if you just start thinking about them, thinking from their point of view, it will be a massive exercise for you for the real upcoming future. In future, whenever you are working in any company, eventually you have to think from their point of view. For example, I am thinking something like I like playing cricket. Fine, I don't play football. But if someone is playing football, we have to think that okay, he is playing football because he is liking the football in the same way I am liking cricket. If we are thinking that okay, we are liking cricket, he is liking football, so we are different, then it will be difficult for you to get your customers, to gel well with your superiors, to gel well with your subordinates also. Just start thinking about people, and generally these things are not covered in your like syllabus and all. Thinking about people, obviously sometimes in a managerial communication your professor must have asked you to try think about people to persuade them, but in this way you are going to think about people for getting some gains, and that gain is your job. I'm telling you to incorporate that thing in your life. You have to like you have to discuss things with her in the same way. You have to discuss things with your mother in the same way, like you are thinking about them. So when your mother is telling you that okay, whatever you are doing is not good and all, instead of just telling that okay, you are wrong, instead of telling that, just try to understand her and try to ask her okay, what is the problem you are thinking, and just try to understand why she is feeling so. In that case you will be able to solve the problem in a better way. Fine. But these things cannot be taught in a classroom. These things you have to practice in your and that MBA batch of like 400 500, a diverse batch is giving you a beautiful opportunity to practice all of these things.
So, as you've said before, the communication is very important in a manager role. So, as a founder and a CEO of a successful company, how do you view the shift of many managers being selected on the basis of their street smarts, you could say, their emotional intelligence, as opposed to their academics? So, how do you view that?
See, academics are generally necessary because to measure street smartness or emotional intelligence, the recruiter should also be like, he or she should also be street smart or emotional intelligent.
uh, People are, recruiters are starting to value people more than their
Okay,
just academics. So, how do you
fine,
view
fine,
that?
fine. I got it. So the thing is, yes, I am a firm believer of a thing that apart from a technical, you are much more than what you know. Fine, that's the main thing. So right now, whenever we are thinking about a skill set, so you 480 people are attending a class, 480 to 500 people are attending a class. All of you are getting the same technicalities, same skill set. Then you are competing with each other on the basis of how better you have learned those skills. In all these things, you guys are losing your individuality. Means you guys are having your own something, and you guys are being compared on the basis of what you have learned there. So what you are is very very important than what you are learning is also important. But again, if two people are giving have been given the same environment and everything same, they are learning almost similar things. If they are having similar cat percentage, they are learning in a similar way, their exam scores are similar. In that case the tiebreaker is your emotional intelligence, street smartness. And believe me, for getting a job and for getting a definite package and money, you don't be like, means I'm not saying that without emotional intelligence, street smartness, you cannot do it. You can do it. But to get ahead in something, to get to the like bigger positions, you have to solve bigger problems. And I'm telling you, bigger problems are not bigger in length or height. Bigger problems are something that are like not solved previously. So that are completely new. If you are solving some problem which are not in your syllabus, which you haven't seen before, then you are going to reach the greater heights. And you can solve those problems only if you are practicing solving the problems of people. And that can be done if you are in touch with people, try to understand people, then only you can solve people's problem. That's the thing. So these things are very important for getting up to certain heights. Okay, without emotional intelligence you can do, because for example, if you are working in team and you are not very much thinking about other people or other customer, and someone in your team is thinking about customers, so that can be done. But whenever you are reaching heights, you are not going to have someone with you for doing your thing. You have to do it yourself only. If you have to think about customers, you have to thinking about people who are working under you also. That is a very important thing, how to get work from people. If you are not thinking about them, then they cannot think about you also. And without like thinking about each other, you guys cannot get the quality work. So I am a firm believer of think that you should be assessed on your street smartness also. But again, that thing you can develop right now in during our MBA time also.
Okay. Adding on to the previous question, so how do you measure the emotional intelligence? Because it's an intangible thing. You just can't say this guy's emotional intelligence is 100
Correct.
out of 100. So how do you measure the emotional intelligence in your, like, let's say your potential employees, and how important is it for you? Because these days, I think people are like more inclined towards technical stuff, but it's more going towards this emotional intelligence,
Correct.
being a good communicator and all these things. So how valuable is it to you, and how
So
do you measure
emotional.
it?
So I don't quantify emotional intelligence. I haven't read about it also that if people were able to like quantify that emotional intelligence thing. But the thing is how you measure emotional intelligence is like I can observe how you are behaving in certain situations. So whenever if you are having a team and your team is in some problem, how you are facing that particular problem tells a lot about how emotionally intelligent you are. So if I'm telling you what is emotional intelligence is having several components. Like one component is self-awareness, how well you know about yourself. Then self-regulation, how can you like regulate your emotions, positive as well as negative also. Positive like if there are three matches and you have won the first match, and then you are very very happy that you are going to tell all your plans in the post match interview, then this emotion also you have to like regulate. And if you have lost the match and you are very angry and you are just telling that your players are wrong, that will be bad also, because eventually you have to work with those people and you have to get results in your way. Fine. So the thing is that emotional intelligence, whenever we are talking about, it is like self-awareness, self-regulation is there, and the most important component is empathy. Fine. So obviously researchers have given those components like self-regulation, self-awareness, and empathy is there. What I tell is empathy is the like essence of everything. So empathy is like thinking about other people, fine, thinking from other people's point of view. So what I say is like self-awareness and self-regulation can be considered as self-empathy. So if you are like having empathy for other person, you are thinking about someone else, and you are thinking about yourself also. If you are just thinking about someone else only, then there are chances that you are going to get frustrated. And if you are just thinking about yourself in each and every decision, there are chances that other people will stop working for you or thinking about you. Fine. So you have to optimize that, thinking about yourself and thinking about others. Right now, but it's not as simple as I'm telling you right now. So like right now you are having some 5 to 8 subjects in each term, and you are having projects, assignments in your placement, and then I'm telling you to practice self-awareness, self-regulation, write down each and everything, know about yourself, know about others. You are not having energy to do all that each and every day. So that means if you are talking with someone and then you are noticing, okay, what I should tell, what they are telling, if they are feeling happy or not, that is very difficult thing. And for that only there is a fourth component, and that is very very important. This is what self motivation is. So whenever you are working in a company, whenever you are working in like your college, fine, that is one part. Then you are thinking about others, thinking about like yourself, fine, then self-regulating, you are regulating your emotion. All these are additional work. So whenever we are asking our mind to do something, we have to give something in return to it. Fine. And that something is that self-motivation thing. You have to do things which you love. Fine. So you are working in a semester, you are working in term, and you are doing all the things. Then you are trying to understand others. You are trying to think about others. For all those things, think about yourself. For all those things, you will be needing some energy, and that energy you can get from working for yourself, doing something for yourself, doing the things you love. For example, I am talking to you right now. This is not my work. So I'll get energy from it. After this session, my energy is not going to get drained because I am doing something which I like. For you it might be the other way. For you this might be the work which you are going to like put in your CV. You are going to put in your like you are conducting all these podcasts, you are conducting all these events, and in CV it will be a point. So it is work for you. And many a times, like I was in IIM Calcutta, so my CV was there. So if you see my CV in that, you will see that there are lots of position responsibilities in IIT Bombay. I have swept like I was having that hostel roll of honor, person of the year, best office bearer, and institute organization citation. All of the awards I have got. Fine. And there are many PORs also. Fine. Around 8 to 9 PORs were there. So many people were asking that you are telling us to get time for yourself and then think about yourself. And in your CV, there are 8 to 9 PORs. So how are you getting time in your life at that time in 2010, 11, 12? So I told him, and that is the answer, that whatever I was doing was something that I was loving at that time. I was not doing all these college activities, all these POR, all those PORs for getting in my resume or CV, because I already started up and I was knowing that I was not going to do a job. Fine. So I was not doing all of these things for CV points and anything like that for like brownie points. So because of that, I was happy with all these things and I was learning also. So for example, I'm giving a simple example from your term. So right now, for example, you must be you must be attending marketing lectures, correct? So in marketing lectures, for example, your teachers are giving you assignment and they are telling you that, okay, in 1.5 hours of lecture, five groups will be giving their assignments and presentations will be there. And suppose your presentation number is 5. Fine. So there are 4 presentations going on. And then the professors and other people are telling that this is a peer learning and you are learning from your people. Fine. But the thing is, just tell me honestly that if your presentation is on 5th, how much you are going to learn from those 4 presentations who are before you. In your
Right.
mind, always you must be thinking about your presentation only, that your number is going to come, what are you going to tell. You are not really very concerned about those 4 things. Fine. The thing is that is work there. Means what I tell is, like, if you are just pressurizing something, if you are just giving pressure and stress, our mind cannot learn each and every time. So for learning, some free thing is also required. That thing applies to that emotional intelligence thing, that whenever we are talking about that, all those see, you cannot like skip those technical things. You cannot skip your assignments and grades. You cannot skip your salary and appraisals also. It will work in a that way, that you have to do your work. And then apart from that, because you have to like, you want to get ahead, you are practicing those things, like thinking about people, thinking about yourself. So for all these additional works, you have to give something to yourself so that you can do it. And that yourself is like whatever I told you, you should do something. That CV point, that this podcast or doing things for this particular council can be turned in another way. If you from today, if you start thinking about that I am doing all these things, if again, if you are happy with that, then only if you are thinking that you are doing all these things because you love that, in that case, all these podcasts, all those things will eventually give you more learning than if you are thinking that it is a work. From work, many people will tell you that we are going to learn more of work, but if you learn from work only when you are working on something that you love, then only you can learn. Otherwise, you cannot learn.
That was an elaborate answer. Very elaborate answer to how emotional intelligence is, important and how it is pivotal. So, like, could you share a specific example from your entrepreneurial journey where, emotional intelligence played a very pivotal part, like, and how did your background in technology and business education from IIT influence you to handle that situation?
Yes, so there are many examples again, because like if I got retirement from work within 3 years or 4 years from college, passing out from college, then there must be something which I have done in a different way than others. Fine. And that something was related to emotional intelligence only. So, like, for example, I'm giving you a first generation entrepreneur was there from Australia. Fine. So he has plotted one project he wanted to do, and previously two of Indian companies were unable to do that project. Fine. So he was not very happy with Indian companies. Fine. At that time, when we pitched like our presentation, and he was worried about that we will be able to do that or not. And at that time, when he was telling us like what previous companies have done to him, fine, and they were unable to complete their project. That was some a different project, not a simple project. That was like integrating a Bluetooth from like integrating a Bluetooth application in their car. And at that time, the application that he was asking was like cannot be done because Microsoft was not opening that particular port for us. So it was very difficult for us to do so. So I, instead of telling him that other companies were doing bad and they were not good, we are good, We just told them that they have tried their best, but there are complications in this project because of, so those two companies which were actually our competitor, and they were unable to do that project, and we could have easily thought like they were bad companies and we are good companies. We have praised those companies and we have told that client that those companies are good, but the project that you are telling right now are having these difficulties that they were unable to do because of things like that is not in their hands. So he was like very happy that we are not discussing the things with him just to get projects. We are discussing his things, that he should be having the clarity about project, and he is giving us the project or not, that is a different thing. Fine. Eventually he has given us the project, and that was a very big project for Indian standards. Fine. And most of the times whenever we pitched client or we discuss clients, we have done a different thing, is that like, and eventually afterwards we got to know about these all are related to marketing, because initially when I passed out from IIT Bombay, I was not aware about all these jargons that you guys are using each and every time. I'm just learning these jargons right now. So at that time what I was thinking, I was charging almost 10x of the price that other companies were charging, 10x, and still they were paying, because most of the time they were not selecting me, I was selecting my clients. So I was not pitching my clients to give us the project, I was just discussing their problems. I was giving my quote and my assurance that we would be able to do that project in that particular way, perfect way, and we are going to get like this much money for that. And still they were giving us that thing. So again, if 10 clients are there and we are pitching them, okay, give us the project, that is a thing that each and everyone was doing. If you are going to some client, you will tell that buy our product only. But I was not telling them at all to buy our product, I was just telling them what we can do, what is our problem. And if you are not giving the project to us, I was also guiding them, you should go to which companies and tell them what, so that you can get the better price. I was just following the simple strategy. As my friend is asking that what should I do, I was telling them like that. And when they are having that approach, they were giving me projects. And after that, the responsibility started, that they have given me projects on my words. And then I have like done, we have done, our company has done all the projects in a good way, and then everything was clear. So all these things are related to emotional intelligence only, because just think, if some clients are there from US and they are thinking about some small companies from India, and they are a bit worried because they, at that time, if I'm talking about 2010, 11, 12, 13, at that time, if they are thinking that Indian companies are only about like money, only running for money, and they cannot be sure that they are going to deliver the quality work and not, at that time if I have convinced them to give us the projects in 10x price, then that was possible only because of emotional intelligence, only because of thinking about them, and also be self-aware about what we can deliver. If we are just thinking about them and we are just giving them blind promise, okay, we can do it, and we are not knowing about our capabilities, then it cannot be done. Fine. So it cannot be, it can be done only if we are knowing what is right, what is our capability, and then we are knowing that projects what is required there, and we are knowing them, and we are promising things accordingly. Then only it can be done. So all of these things were related to emotional intelligence. All.
All right. So, as a mentor to startups, or you are a public speaker as well. So, how do you believe emotional intelligence could be used to build teams better in technology and in general business world that is out there? Because we do see a lot of conflicts within, teams in organizations. If we go and work, there are several points where people are disagreeing on very technical stuff, but again they are disagreeing on emotional stuff as well at the same point.
See, so you must have read a common thing in OB, like the most fundamental thing of organization behavior is that each and every person is different. Fine, each and every. So the thing is, whenever you are dealing with some person, fine, in your team, in groups, or with different organizations, eventually you have to deal with their emotions also. Fine. And again, do you know what is a fundamental principle of economics? Each and everyone is thinking about themselves, the rational man. Fine. Again, this this principle also being applied here only. If you are having some team of five, so each and everyone is thinking about themselves, their profit. That is a general fundamental thing, and each and everyone is different also. Means one is thinking only, if this can be done in a, like for that economics principle also, it can be done that all should be profitable and things will be done. But again, apart from that thing, they are persons also, they are people also, so there will be a thing that each and everyone is different. So we are having our own motives apart from profit also, motives, intention, or willingness, or anything, fine. So we have to deal, so lots of emotions are being involved in, and each and every time whenever two persons are engaging in teams or organization, or outside team also, there will be some emotional friction. How you are going to reduce that emotional friction is a key. Fine. And you can get a simple example from your project team, your group assignments, what you are seeing. If there are 8 people, one of them will be very sincere, like one or two are like, okay, we have to do project in a first day itself, and you will find a 8 person who is not going to come in the last meeting also. Fine. And if you are thinking it is related to your group only, no, you are wrong. It is in all the groups. Sometimes if some group is getting more marks, you might be thinking, okay, my group is bad because I am having this particular person and that group is good. Stop thinking that. Just accept. See, if you are running a company and all, then it is good for you. You can hire people as per your preferences, as per your culture and all. But eventually, since you guys are doing MBA, most of you are having some loans and all, there are chances that for next couple of years at least you are going to do a job. And in job you cannot ask for like who is going to work with you, who is going to be your manager, who is going to work below you. Fine. So in all of these things you have to work with different type of people. So these assignments, I'm not sure about these marketing assignments are going to give you the insights on marketing or not. These economics assignments are going to like give you some learnings of economics or not. But all of these assignments are going to give you a sharp learning of the like behaving in teams and behaving in groups, and how to get the best output of from the group without having some issues, or by solving a conflict. And eventually when you are going to like some organization you are working, just think about that. These people are going to work around you only. The seniors are going to like be your manager, the juniors will work under you, and the main conflict you see is generally coming when you are having no power. Fine. So in your juniors you are having power, so there will not be any conflict. Your managers are having power on you, so there would not be any conflict means whatever you are raising, if you are not raising conflict, that is not conflict, it is your will only. Fine. So your conflict will be with those people also, your conflict will be with him also. Yes, both of you are going to have conflict if you are working in the organization also. Fine. So the conflict, that's the best exercise you can get in these 2 years, is like if you are working with, well, instead of thinking that I should not be like indulge with this particular guy or girl, or this is good or bad, just think whatever they are, and you have to work with them, and you have to get the best output from the team. Fine. And in between you have to understand them also, you have to try to understand them also why they are behaving in a certain way. That's the thing. If time permits, so if time not permits, and if you are running short of time, just focus on your target. Fine. So you must be knowing there are two types of leader. One, they are task oriented, and one, they are people oriented. Fine. I'm more of like people oriented. That's why sometimes I can be suffering something related to task. There are some people who are task related, who like there are chances that if there is some problem related to people, they will be unable to solve it. So you have to optimize between both the task and people. Fine. And this is not a simple thing like you are studying in classroom and you can understand. For example, I can give you a simple thing like so I recently in my one of my session I asked a simple question from people that how many of you are like able to drive a car. Fine. That many of them raised hand, and some of them like they were not aware about how to drive a car. So I asked them, okay, if I'm giving you 14 days master class in your classroom how to drive a car, in which there will be I'm going to supply you 4 grade books on how to drive a car, and I'm going to give you a lecture in classroom how to drive a car. How many of you are going to drive a car in a road? So they were telling that okay, one or two were still confident that they can drive. So okay, I am just regarding them as outliers because they are very like dangerous for society also, because they can drive a car, but I am not sure what how it is going to affect other drivers. Fine. So apart from them, all the students were like really sure that they will not be able to drive a car by all this classroom teaching and all. Fine. Again, then I am asking, okay, running a company or being in an organization is like tougher or that car, because more people drive car and lesser people work in organization or start a company. It was related to startup only, and they were like thinking about, okay, we can start something related to entrepreneurship in the college. So there were many professors, they were like keen on starting entrepreneurship courses in the college, and I'm okay with that if they are doing that. But the thing is, what I think is, if you cannot learn driving a car in your classroom, and driving a car is a simple thing because many people like do it, driving a car, and then starting a company or working with people is a different thing. It's a more difficult thing, starting a company. Then how can you start a company by this classroom teaching only? Fine. So just start doing things, start discussing things with people, start dealing conflicts, start dealing with conflicts. Don't run away from conflicts right now, because what these conflicts are not going to harm you at all. These are simple student matters. If you are right now having a conflict in a group assignment, what will be there? In worst to worst case, you guys are not going to talk for some time, nothing else would be required. So these are important parameters. Right now you can practice your like conflict handling skills, emotional intelligence, how to think about others. Because if you are thinking that you are going to do all this in your organization, there will be a very lesser margin for error, because if in your organization you are failed in that, then there are chances that your appraisal, your working, each and everything is going to be affected. Here only one project will be there. If it is not good, you can work in some other project, but there your company performance will affect if the things are going in the north. So just try practice, because without practicing, you cannot be emotionally intelligent. Practice it in your home also, with your parents, with your brother, sister, with your friends. I mean, friends are like beautiful subjects, like on which you can practice emotion. Just start thinking about them, and it will grow. Like your friendship will also grow if you are thinking about them. I'm not telling you bad thing. Just just think about them, and they will think about you. Just don't worry that, don't think like if I'm thinking about them, they should think about me, because then it's a business. Then it's not emotional intelligence. There's a very thin line between emotional intelligence and manipulation. In manipulation also you can get things done from someone else, but emotional intelligence, you are doing something for someone else. So in that case you can get things done from someone else for longer time. So manipulation you can do one or two times, but with emotional intelligence you can do for, like you are doing with your mother and father. So you are taking favors from them from past 20 years, and you can also take like favors from them for next 20 years just by thinking for them. So whenever you are meeting someone, I'm not telling you think about your mother, father, parents, or your mother, father, brother and sister and friends only, but just think about them, because it cannot do you any wrong if you are thinking about people, thinking from their point of view.
Thank you so much. I'm pretty sure you brought up some unanswered traumas to our study groups, to our viewers. I'm pretty sure about that, sir. So, coming back, as an educator, you mentioned before that you were somewhat disenfranchised and disillusioned by the curriculum of current institutions and stuff. So, how would you, in your own view, how would you put emotional intelligence in the curriculum, or anyways, like how would you redefine our curriculum for us in the context of like emotional
That is a
intelligence?
Yeah, that is a very big thing. So we are planning, but again, lots of policy making is required in doing this. This is not that simple, because we are talking not about only 50 people or 500 people. Whole lot of people. There are 3.33 lakhs, I guess this time CAT, 3.33 lakhs aspirants are writing CAT this year. Fine. So I guess if 50,000, 1 lakh of them are joining MBS, so we are deciding something for a lot of people. So the thing is, how we are going to integrate emotional intelligence is like, we should be more like, our curriculum should be more based on learning that is required right now. One is related to technology and one is related to people. So we should be focused on those things which eventually going to help in your that industry. So right now many things, if I'm asking you, you can identify that there are many things which you are not finding any point right now why we are studying that particular thing. So okay, if there are chances that around 20 years back those things were relevant. For example, around 20 years back, if you ask your parents, they would have remembered all the phone numbers. Right now that is not required, because you are having your phone storage and all the numbers are stored in that. Fine. So the thing is, again, what was true 20 years back might not be true right now. Fine. So they have to update their course accordingly. And as far as how can we integrate more emotional intelligence, it's like how can we integrate more that these group things and group things, which I think there's this is not an easy thing to do, but they have to some groups they are going to allot, some groups you are going to choose, and the exercise will not be based on like marks. Exercise is something should be based on you have to do it. For example, if we are talking about if you're talking about Singapore right now, then what Singapore has done is they have like removed the marks and grades from their high school examination. They have done that around 5 to 6 years back, because what they are telling is that these things are something that you should be knowing. And whenever we are going to test you, there are chances that your focus will not be on the learning, and your focus will be on getting marks. That is how our mind works. Whenever we are getting our target, we will learn towards that only. So here in our learning, most of the time you are just thinking about getting marks. Fine. So if there are certain group assignments, certain projects which you are obviously you are not going to do that seriously, because again it is not related to marks. Fine. So the thing is, the dilemma is, if they are telling that these assignment will be marked in from 20 marks, then you are not going to learn these things, that emotional intelligence and working with people. And if they are telling you that it is of no marks, then you are not going to do it. So there will be some way between that, and that some way is like they should leave it up to you. You guys are adult. You have given 25 lakhs of rupees or similar amount of money. You guys are giving your 2 years, and you guys should be deciding what you want out of your MBA. So I am damn sure if 500 students are there in your batch, out of those 500, if we are giving some assignment, for example, I am a professor and I am giving you assignment, and that assignment, if you want to do, if it you can do, if you don't want to, that is okay. I'm giving you that assignment. I am damn sure those 50 students are 50 out of 500 students are going to do the assignment, going to do the group thing. Fine. Those 50 students are going to get ahead in the people skill. You cannot force each and everyone to learn people skill, because you cannot impart things to all 500 people. And here you are not discriminating also, because you are telling each and everyone to follow that process, but you are not forcing anyone. In that case, if 50 students out of those 500 are going to do those group assignment, going to do those practice, that is for betterment of them only, that is not related to marks. So they are going to learn that in a better way. Instead of, see, you cannot compare. If someone is getting like 20 out of 20 and someone is getting 10 out of 20, you cannot calculate their path, that who has done things in a better way. Correct. You cannot get each and everything from marks. So the things, if we cannot correlate these things from marks, just leave some things like related, just leave something from that marks point of view. You are having enough subjects, you are having 5 subjects, 6 subject in which you are calculating, you are getting a CGPA, that's all. Okay, just leave one subject, one credit course, just put one credit course there, in which you are not forcing anyone to attend the class, anyone to do the assignment, anyone to do some social work related assignment, and you are telling them whoever from you is getting time can do this. Fine. In that case, for example, two of you are here and both of you are good enough for getting 10 CGP out of 10. Fine. And then one of you is deciding that, okay, I'm not interested in getting that 10 CGPA. I will allot my time to this particular thing because it is interesting to me. Then this guy is going to get better emotional intelligence or better problem solving capacity. In that case, again, right now, if the other people are seeing that, okay, this guy is now behaving in a different way, he's learning new things, then other people might get attracted to that particular thing. And next year, some of the juniors are coming in your batch, only 50 students are opting for that course, which is not going to give you anything in your grades. Next year, might be 60 or 70 are coming for that course for learning only. So I am in favor of more learning based education and not more grading based education.
So that was very enlightening. So, in your experience, what would you say is like some of the misconceptions people have about emotional intelligence? Because it's not a topic that we talk about often. So, what would be like the misconceptions that you've seen in emotional intelligence, and how do you address it?
So sometimes people are seeing that emotional intelligence is like being more emotional. It is not related to them. Sometimes people are confusing sympathy and empathy. Fine. They are thinking if they are just going to help someone, then they are emotional intelligent. That is not either. Emotional intelligence is finding the balance between each and everything. Fine. balance between like thinking of your past, thinking of your future, thinking of present, all at the same time. When you are doing something, you should be well aware about yourself, well aware about someone who is in front of you, constantly learning about yourself, constantly learning about someone who is in front of you, constantly thinking about your future also, constantly learning from your past also, whatever mistakes you have done. All of these things combining will be like emotional intelligence. If you are just saying, okay, I'm thinking about future, fine, constantly, but you are not learning anything from past, then there will be chances that you are going to fail certain times. If you are telling that, okay, I am just helping people each and every time, and for example there are assignments and you are doing other people's assignment, fine, and if you are going to fail in your subjects, then there will be a problem. So what I'm telling is emotional intelligence is like thinking about yourself as well as thinking about others, and then doing things in a fashion that it should be benefited to all of us. So the win-win situation you must have listened about previously. Win-win situation, you must be knowing about that. So most of the times whenever you are doing something, just try to get that win-win situation, win-win integration type of thing, in which you are getting what you want and you are just giving other person something, and in that chance there are chances that you will gain a lot from your tasks.
All right. So having almost discussed like how we can integrate emotional intelligence through teams or how it can be part of a curriculum, there is this one question that I believe most of the listeners would want to know is that how can emotional intelligence help them throughout their placements, and how what are some key attributes that they should start developing, or at least try to develop, so that they are better off as they progress through this MBA journey, or even when they go out in the corporate world itself.
So your interview and your placement is basically based on two parameters. One is how much you are knowing your skills, and second is how much you are showing.
Right.
Fine, fine. So many a times when you have joined this MBA, after joining MBA, you have started like CV review thing was done, CV preparation, resume preparation was done, and in those resume thing, you were just trying to show something to the recruiter, show something that many a times you are not. Fine, you are just showing something. Fine. So eventually your main target is, as far as the placement you are considering right now, your main target is to attract a customer, or to convince a customer, or to persuade a customer, or what I call, and a very controversial word, to hypnotize the recruiter.
Right.
Hypnotize. Fine. You have to hypnotize that, okay, we four are here and we have attended same classes, we are from same college also, and we are having same grades also, but I am the best. So that is
Right.
hypnotizing only. Fine. So for that hypnotizing, the thing that I'm telling you, just think about the recruiter and the company also. So whenever you are convincing recruiter, whatever you are writing in your resume is fine, but your work and your like whatever you are telling right now should be in the same rhythm with that thing whatever you have written in resume. For example, if your target is that I should be shortlisted by this particular company, and you are mentioning something in CV, fine, so that would be very myopic view if you are just thinking about being shortlisted in some company. Fine, don't think about that. Just think, if you are going there in the interview, in that case you have to face those things which you are going to write in a resume. Fine. And you must have heard many things about making a resume, how to make it look attractive and all, but many a times what I am seeing in MBA, and also like in IIT Bombay, it was very lesser, this thing whatever I'm going to tell you. And in past 10 years we are seeing your resumes each and every time, and CV we cannot give more than 5 to 15 seconds to each CV. Fine. And we are seeing many a times we are seeing something written on CV, like they are saying that they are head of that particular council and they have solved all these things. And then I'm asking something related to, okay, in similar situation, what are you going to do? And they are unable to answer anything. In that case, if they would not have written that particular point, there are more chances that they could have recruited. So I'm telling you, many times if you see your CV, you can see. you can find out that there would be at least 5% or 10% lie would be there. That is a true thing. Just see your CV. Lie or something like you were a software developer somewhere and you have developed some projects, and right now because you have been told to mention all the numbers, so you are mentioning, okay, I have done this work so that 16% of man hours are become like lesser right now, and the growth is increased by 30% and all fine. So these fancy things are okay, but it should not be completely lie. Because lie, you might get job right now, but it is not related to get your first job. You are doing MBA, you are giving 25 lakhs, you are giving 2 years, you are giving your life to get ahead in life. So there are chances that with these things you might get a job right now. But when you are going to be in that company and you are telling something lie which is not like matching to their requirements, their culture, their job description. For example, they are telling you that you have to visit several places during your job, and you are telling them, okay, I love traveling and I love to visit places, fine, and you are going to get that job, fine, because they are not like judges or something, they can decide each and everything. And then after getting a job, eventually when you have to travel, then you will not be happy, then you will be frustrated, and that will affect your work performance as well as whatever next job if you are going to do, each and everything will be affected by that particular small thing which you have written in your resume at that time, fine. So what I'm telling is, just think of a bigger picture. Don't think in a myopic view that your like right now your target is not to get your first job or job from this IIM, that you are going to get. You must be confident about that. Right now market is not very good, so I'm not sure how the placement at IIM Vishakhapatnam went this year. And that is not a very bad thing. Eventually you all are going to get job, I'm telling you that, all of you. But your target should not be like getting your first job only. That would be the path. Your target would be like getting happy in your first job, so that you can get a growth up, or like organizational growth, your personal growth also. Like you should be happy in your personal life, because eventually work is a subset of life. So you are doing work so that you can get some money, so that you can live happily with your family, your friends, your life, whatever you want to do. So if you are not happy, then all of those things are not going to be done. If you are not happy, if you are, for example, you don't like traveling, you have mentioned in your resume right now you are traveling, you are not happy, and you are just arguing with your girlfriend, boyfriend also, you are just arguing with your parents also, you are not sleeping properly. In that case, eventually you are either going to lose your job, or you are not going to get promoted, or you are not going to like get a place, get that appraisal what you were looking for, so you'll not be happy. Instead of, if you are not mentioning traveling, and right now you are getting some x amount of package by mentioning that you love traveling, and if you are not mentioning traveling, then you are getting some 0.8x or 0.7x job. But eventually after 1 or 2 years, you can get to like 1.2x, 1.5x, or even 3x, just because you are just mentioning what you are. So right now in MBA you might be thinking that I should get the best job, but instead of getting the best job, just try about getting the best job for you. Just identify what is the best job for you, so that you can do a job for a longer time period, or you can get retired in a shorter time period. But get retired, not like yeah.
Right. So emotional intelligence, we believe, adds to an effective leader.
Hmm.
So, if you could share an example of maybe your favorite leader or their story from where they have, actually inculcated emotional intelligence and, have given out a great successful journey.
Yeah, there are many stories, but I'm giving you a simple one right now, because I thinking you guys are running out of time also. So a simple one is like MS Dhoni. Fine.
Hmm.
So Ganguly was having his last test match, and Ganguly was like before MS Dhoni, he was considered a best Indian captain. Fine. So it was the last match, and in last session, MS Dhoni has told Saurav Ganguly to do the captaincy. Fine. It was a very simple thing, but just think that it was not required. MS Dhoni was captain at that time, and Ganguly has done the captaincy whenever it was required. But because of that very simple thing that MS Dhoni has done, that Saurav Ganguly felt immense happiness. Fine. This is a thing about leader. Leader doesn't think only about the present. In present, if you can see that Saurav Ganguly is leaving, in any case, he is not being part of the team. Whatever he is thinking about me or not doesn't matter. But the true leader, generally true leader thinks more than whatever is visible to all of you, all of us. Fine. So that particular thing, when he asked Saurav Ganguly to do captaincy, because Saurav Ganguly was like, he was also a born leader. So whenever someone like leadership, so you can see there are two people in a group also, one who wants to lead and one who is happy with the things. You just tell him that you have to do this thing and they will be happy with that. There are two types. So one who are leader, who they always want to be in the middle of the things. Fine. So Saurav Ganguly, when he has got the opportunity to lead the thing, eventually the thing that clicked in his mind were different. So that little gesture has given the different type of like spark also for Saurav Ganguly. And if you are talking about professional way, eventually when Dhoni was there, Dhoni was like mentor, Dhoni was mentor, captain. At that time, Saurav Ganguly was leading BCCI. So in like Saurav Ganguly must have been remembering that okay, Dhoni has done that thing to me. So that is what I'm talking about business. But apart from business, just try thinking about others. A true leader generally think about each and everyone.
So, sir, thank you very much. I think this is probably going to be the last question, and it's going to be a very interesting question to all of our listeners. So, let's say emotional intelligence gets, integrated into our curriculum, and with the advent of AI technology and stuff, how do you feel AI will affect emotional intelligence? Is there anything we can learn from AI?
Obviously, you can learn from AI how to get your work done
Yes.
efficiently. So, for example, right now, if you are doing something in 9 hours, with the help of AI, you can do that work in 3 hours, and then rest of the 6 hours, you can do something that you love, and that thing will eventually motivate you to do more things in your professional life also. Fine. So eventually that will help you to get better heights. So don't be afraid of AI. AI is not going to not going to take your place if you are having that emotional thing, emotional quotient in yourself. Because right now, we are not seeing in any distant future that AI can. We are researching on that right now. We are doing a research on like AI and EI. Fine. So that's why when I joined PhD, I was very fascinated about that how that AI is being developed here and how we can integrate that with AI. But right now, that AI cannot replace humans. AI is there to help you guys. Eventually, you guys are going to become managers and leaders, and you have to decide many things. Fine, and that many things will be involving people. Fine. So for obviously for those tasks which are repeatable, which are like for example, you are drafting an email. So a simple email, if you are drafting right now, and again tomorrow you are drafting the same email, again 2 days after 2 days you are drafting the same email, that can be done with the help of AI. If you are talking about like getting some insight from lots of data, that can be done with the help of AI. Don't be indulged in that. But if we are talking about eventually you have to serve people, eventually you have to be with people either in your personal life or in professional life. That thing AI cannot do right now, that personal thing, that emotional thing. So just try to develop this particular thing, and just take help from AI so that you can practice. Right now, whenever we are talking about that self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, all of these will be requiring time, because whenever you are monitoring yourself, like in which thing you are getting angry, in which thing you are getting happy, you have to take a journal, you have to ask other people, you have to ask your friend, okay, when do you think I become angry a lot, when do you think I become happy a lot? It will take time. So that time you can get with the help of AI. Just give your boring task or the trivial task to AI, just do that thing, and in the remaining time, because efficiency, see, what I tell is like for living your life in a perfect way, efficiency is required, because with efficiency you can. I'm a very big fan of efficiency and not output. Right now, what I'm seeing is most of the MBA curriculum is measuring the output only. Fine. And that is a very sad thing, because again, if you are giving 1 hour and if you are getting 8 out of 10, and if someone is getting 8 hours and he is getting 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10 in current system, that 9 out of 10 guys way ahead of 8 out of 10. But in reality, just think, if out of those 1 hour you are getting 8, fine. So that is a big thing, that 1 hour you are getting 8, and rest of like 6 7 hours you are doing things which you love. Because we are here just to do the things which we love, and for doing the things which we love, we have to do some other things. That's not the other way around. Like in Hindi, I have in high school there was an essay, Gehu Banam Gulab. In that essay, Gehu was the metaphor for like money and whatever we are doing for like results, And the gulab is like whatever we are doing for pleasure, whatever we are doing for happiness or a culture thing. Fine. So it is like a balancing between those is very important. If we are just running towards gehu and we are thinking that okay, we have got the money right now, and now we have to collect money for next 10 years, now we have to save money for next 100 years, now we have to save money for our grandchildren and their grandchildren and their grandchildren, then we are just losing out of our lives, and eventually there are very lesser chances that we would be happy. So what you can do is right now, each and every one of you can think about whatever gehu or money you are requiring. It might be 5 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 500, that 50 crores, 500 crores or 5,000 crores. It depends on your personality. For example, if you want only two house or one house and one car, that can be done in 5 crores also. So why would you be requiring 50 crores? And if he is wanting right now, he's thinking that okay, I would be needing a posh villa in like near Nariman Point, and I would be needing some 10 cars. He would be needing some 200 crores, 100 crores. That is his wish. So you should not follow him or you should not follow her like what they are doing. Each and every one of you should be having a stopping point right now in your life, and that stopping point will guide you to do the things in that particular way. Fine. So just be aware about yourself and like use those artificial intelligence right now, because again you are using computers. Around 15 years back, people were not using computers and they were worried that computers are going to take their job. Fine. And regarding the MBA, one story that I'm telling from past few sessions is like that was related to marketing also, and also to understand people. Like in Saudi Arabia, Coca-Cola was trying to expand at that time, and so they have given their sales manager a responsibility to like promote Coca-Cola there. And Saudi Arabia government was not allowing them to go for any video ads or something. They have just allowed them to do print ads. And then the sales manager have done like he has collected three photographs. One photograph is like someone is very tired and he's just lying down. Second photograph is like the Coca-Cola bottle is there, and third photograph is like he's running and very happy. So by these photographs he has promoted Coca-Cola. So what are you understanding with these three photographs? First, in which he is lying, second is Coca-Cola bottles there, and third he is just running. What are you getting from this?
Probably that the lying person has drank Coca Cola and then he has got that energy to do stuff,
Correct.
whatever he wants to do.
Correct. But the problem is in Saudi Arabia, it was backfired and people stopped drinking Coca-Cola just because they read from right to left.
Okay.
Oh,
Right.
You know Urdu, you know. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
what they were saying, a person is very happy and cheerful, and then
Then he
Coca-Cola was there, and then
He's
he
sitting
inside.
down.
fine. So from this story, what I'm telling you guys is like this is related to marketing also. This story is related to how you are knowing your people. So whenever you are working for people, working with people, just try to understand them first. If you are going to join some organization, that might be different from they might be having a different culture from what you are having here. Fine. A person in UP is a different market than a person in West Bengal. So you might be thinking that okay, people are same everywhere in India, same everywhere in the world. It is not like that. So just try to know the culture of people. It will help you to like improve your emotional intelligence, as well as it will help you to like learn a lot in your management field, marketing field, immersiveness, each and every.
All right. That was a really great example to explain to know. It is very important to know and understand your audience as they teach us in marketing. So we have come to an end of this episode. But before closing it, would you like to recommend any book, podcast, or anything else that you usually do or prefer doing in your free time that could add to us in general?
Uh, I'm very sorry for that, and that's why
Oh.
most of my professors were not happy at IIM Calcutta also, because I don't like to read books. I like to read people. I see whatever I've done in past 10 years or so was not being taught in any book or any civil engineering book. Fine. Whatever I've done, I've learned from you guys only. Fine. So book I can tell you book like there are some books in front of me. I can see in my cabinet books were there. So I thought that in my college also, I was in second year, so my first year marks was not good. So I thought that okay, I might be buying more books so that I can learn more. So I bought like more than 1,000 books at that time, more than 1,000 books. Fine. And then I came to know that no, I cannot learn with books. First thing. And second thing, later on I realized that with books you are going to learn the same as you are going to learn in the limit that that book was having. Or for example, both of you, if you both of you are going to read the same book, you are going to get the same insight in the or the same insight that other author is having. Sometimes I avoid reading books because I think whatever I know, whatever I know and whatever I am learning from life will be like deviated from that particular part if I'm reading someone else view. So that's for me only. That's not for you guys. For you guys, if emotional intelligence you are talking about, that I think Daniel Goleman's book is there on emotional intelligence. That's a very good book. I've tried to read this book many a times, but I was like I slept most of the times whenever I'm opening a book. And again, and I'm a and also please, I'm dropout of IIM Calcutta. My professors were already like they were not happy that what I was doing there. I was attending all the lectures and I was giving all the exams. I passed all the exams, but they were telling that for being a PhD scholar, you have to read books, and I was not very happy with reading books. So and that's why I am dropout right now. But the thing is, again, book wise, you should be reading a book because what I've seen in other persons, see, I am constantly engaging with people. You might not be having that much energy to engage with people, engage in so many things to learn from them. So in that case, book provides a very good shortcut to learn things. Fine. So that emotional intelligence book you can read. Other books I'm not sure, but I can certain biographies of some good people you can learn. You can see what they have faced, what they have done, like Mahatma Gandhi, what he was doing. Because whenever we are talking about India before freedom, it was different and it was a very challenging situation. So if you can read about that, what he was doing at that time. Books, yeah, I forgot. Harry Potter. I can only suggest Harry Potter because I have read, I have learned a hell lot of things from Harry Potter books and movies, a hell lot of things, and I quote many of those things in my talks also. Like friendship is there, thinking about people, solve a problem. See, there was a Professor Dumbledore for each and every bigger problem. He was sending a 11-year-old kid to solve. Fine, he was not
Exactly.
solving that for himself, and because of that, and that's why the name of book was Harry Potter and something, and not Professor Dumbledore and something. And there are many learnings like related to love, related to how you are going to get your marks, related to bonus point to people you love. Fine. So there are many things from start to end. If I'm talking about those books, I can talk for like days continuously. I can talk for days. So Harry Potter, I can suggest you. So this is also another book in which you can learn many things, and you are already learning all this serious stuff in your curriculum also, and you are going to get recommendation of many other books from your professor. So Harry Potter is possible, just try to read. That's one.
So, sir, thank you very much. And to reiterate, we do love Harry Potter as well. Our generation loves Harry Potter.
Thank you,
So,
thanks a lot. Your generation is very sharp because I like in my during my PhD. So I have done that all those MBA courses with your generation only, and those are very sharp. We were quite, you can say, we were not having that much knowledge that you guys are having right now. We were very less knowledgeable in our time. Fine. So that's a very beautiful thing your generation is having right now. If you can combine that knowledge with some what emotional intelligence or thinking about other people, you guys will be unstoppable. So just try that. And since whenever you guys are having problem related to like any career related thing or life related thing, you can always drop an email to me or you can send me a message on LinkedIn. And mostly if I'm not in jungle, I will reply back to you because this is a thing that I love. Whenever I get those messages, I reply back to them. Whenever I'm seeing your problem, I'm also learning from your problem and I'm giving you my experience. I'm sharing with you my experience or my take on that. And then it's your wish that you are going to solve your problem in that particular way or not. But if you are not asking someone your problem, then there are chances that you are not going to learn another way of thinking. So just ask people your problems, ask me your problem, and tell your students also that Whenever I'm visiting, I am Vishakhapatnam next time, I'll surely meet you guys.
Thank you for coming on our podcast. It was an insightful episode, I would say, and very interesting one. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Mm.